Okay, so what you can see here is the background screen, which is empty, and it looks like we can decorate it. So on the left, you can see the list of different items here. Um, by default, the tile is selected here, so I'll just choose one of them, and you can just drag the tiles to place them here. So with your left click on your mouse, you can use it to place it, but right click will help you erase them. You can still erase it with this, but I think it's easier to just use your right and left click um, to build them. And so basically, you can use all the objects and everything here to design your own map with all the resources provided from the MapleStory. So now, if I click the play button, um, you can see that the avatar I've made can just walk around. Mm. Then, assuming that you're done making the game, you'll have to publish it. You can also play this game with other people by first saving it and then clicking publish. Here, you have to save it. So here you can configure some settings. You can write a short description about your game here. You can also upload a thumbnail image uh, and take a screenshot of the game to explain or to show what your game is like. And as for the maximum players, you can set it anywhere from 1 to 100. So, for example, if I set it as 10 players, um, this doesn't mean it's the maximum players of the entire game, but rather it's the maximum number of players per server. So if there are 100 players, that means 10 players each from 10 different servers can access and play the game at the same time. So that's what this number of maximum player means. And you can also change those privacy settings. You can use it, you can change it to private when you're testing it and see if the game's running properly prior to publishing. And this is whether you'll allow remake, which means you're letting other people remake the game you created and they can access the script, images, and everything you've uploaded. Next is to choose where to play the game. If you leave the mobile unticked and select PC only, it will show the game only on PC and also vice versa. To publish the game, just click Publish, the button right here. Then you'll be able to play the game right away, and so can other users since it's been published. But right now, I'm not going to publish it, but I was just showing you how to create and publish a game in a few easy steps. Now, let's look at some of the details from the top menu in order. First, it's File. And like we saw earlier, if we click Save, the game you're creating will be saved directly in the server and not in the local disk. This means you can continue working on the game from another devices with the same account. And since it's saved in the server, there's no need for a backup. And next, it's export and import function. Uh, this will become very handy when you're making a group project. You can create a game file to export to file. So those exported files can be backed up, and you can also import the files that others created or that you created previously to overwrite the current game by clicking import. And we've already seen what publish is. Next, it's revisions. So revisions are used for version control. And I'll show you how this goes. For example, let's say we added some tiles here. And I'll press this record now to save this version. So tile only version. And let's say I was just trying to decorate my map with some other objects, but then I wanted to return to when there was nothing here but only tiles. So this is when you can use the revision tab. Here you can back up to the version where there was only tile by clicking the return button. And after you wait for a while, yay! So this will take you back to the version that I wanted to return. You can see that all those buttons and decorating thing is gone, right? So using this revision feature, you can manage the files in the server without having to save them locally. And after that, let's say that we've placed an entity. So objects, monster, NPCs, and everything you can see here are entities. You can also search for something. Just type tree. It's taking long. So I don't think these are trees, but I'll just place a bush here. No, actually, this is better. Okay. So if I click right-click this entity, you'll see this menu where you can cut, copy, duplicate, rename, and do everything. You can actually find the same thing here in the edit menu. In the create menu here at the top can be also used to create different things. And these menus are available on the side panels here as well. This is annoying, I'm going to delete it. And the basic layout of the panels is consisted of model list, scene, and console right here, map layer, hierarchy, and workspace, and also property editor. And for other panels you cannot see in the home screen, you can find it under the panels menu, and you can just drag them out and place it wherever you want for your convenience. You can also remove the panel here freely. And if any point you want to go back to the original panel, you can just click reset panels here, and it will return to the initial layout. And the window menu, you can find the features that are only available through pop-up menus. So for example, this is a map list. So with MSW, you can use different maps for a single game. Now you're right here, but you can make a new map, clicking on them. And you can also choose the map you'll be starting the game. Right now you'll start in this map, but you can also change it to this map if you click here. You can also duplicate or delete or rename the map. Next, MapleStory Map, the tab right here, is used for changing the whole theme of the world you're creating. All of these maps are from the MapleStory game, so this is for you to generate creativity and reinterpret the maps to make a retro game and evoke nostalgia of the existing MapleStory users. Here, by clicking on them, and click this button, you can import the theme. Then here you'll see all the resources like the background, the animation, and entities, which is all set ready for you to use. And next, the debug menu provides features used to identify problems when developing scripts. So under help, and there are also external web links to this developer centers and other forums that I've already mentioned in the previous lessons. You can also check the API reference and search resources. Okay. So far, we've looked at the top menu and how the panels are laid out and used. So let's move on to the next rows of menus here. When you place an entity, you can use this button to undo it and the one next to it to redo it. These can be done with shortcuts as well, Control Z and Control Y, so please take note of this. And right here, you can change the cursor for the mouse. The default cursor is used to make selections or to place the selected items on the screen. And by clicking on this, you can move around the map. And this can also be done by using the middle click of your mouse, the one you use it to scroll down or scroll up. And the eraser cursor is to delete entities. And for the tile, I told you that you can use the right click to erase it. Yeah, so I mean, see, my cursor is on default, but I can still erase it. Beside the cursor, you will find this UI button. So it's a UI editor. We'll go into the details of the UI editor in another session. So for now, you just have to know that you can like add buttons or write the text here to change the UI of the game. And right beside it, you can find this. So for now, our game is a side view game, right? Which means you can move from left to right. Left to right. But if you change this into a rectile map, here, you can actually have a top view. So which map you want to use will depend on the purpose of your game. Yeah, but take note that you can also use the rectile map here for like top view games. So you're not allowed to use the maple tile, which are used for the side view, but for other entities, you're allowed to use them. Here, see, you can place them anywhere you want. Yeah, so this is how it goes. And next, it's a debugging button. And for now, you don't have a script. You haven't write any, so you don't need it. But after you write some codes, you might need to use this to debug when there are errors. I'll just put some tiles here. Okay, so basically, when you make a multiplayer game, you might want to test it with more than 2 players, right? So there's also a multiplayer test feature with which you can add test users right here. This button becomes enabled when a game starts, and when you press on this, an additional client will come up here. After you wait for a while, additional player will appear here. So it's like player 2. Also, she's right here. So you can move around this player through this other client. So this is player 1 and this is player 2 that you've just added. Here, you can see both. So for player 1, you might want to move it from this client. And to move her to player 2, you need to go around here. Anyway, I'll stop. Okay, then I'll keep going. In the scene panel here, right here, which you'll use the most often, is for editing the maps. In a sense, you can decorate the map using this feature. You can scroll up and down and zoom in and out and adjust the scale. If you enable the grid information here, the grids come up, and this is useful when placing tiles because if you want to place the tiles in an orderly way, the grid will help you find the precise position. They'll show you the location in these green highlights. And the red lines here are called foothold information. When you enable it, the red lines will appear. So this indicates the places you can jump on. So here you can run along, but for example, if you combine them, you can no longer go through these areas, right? So this foothold components show where you can climb. For example, an object like this, there's no red line on top, right? This means you cannot climb up or just walk through this. And this one is a mobile simulator, so you can also see how it looks like on your mobile device. And this one is performance statistics. So you can look at the game's performance and memory and also the screen coordinates here, the position. These are all the options offered through the same panel. And another panel you'll be using very often is the